Hello everybody and welcome back to Syracuse Aviation. Before we get started, make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So today we have the March 2025 Syracuse Hancock International Airport update for you guys. Not a whole lot of new things this month to go over. I do have some changes to touch on for the summer season, which obviously we're not too summer yet. We're actually obviously just getting into spring here, but very happy that the year is progressing along nicely. Again, I'll touch on those changes when we get to certain flights around the airport, but with all that said, let's go ahead and get started. As per usual, to keep things nice and consistent for us, we're going to start at the end of Concourse A with the JetBlue Airways operations. Starting at Gate 1 with the JetBlue Airways Airbus A220-300 in the old Hops paint scheme, this aircraft will be making a flight over to New York JFK today. Still 2 daily A220-300s, nothing new for that service right there, but looking nice and consistent for JetBlue, so very happy to see that. You'll also note that if you're around for previous Syracuse Airport updates, you will notice that the ground markings here are new to the airport, so this is something I've been trying to work on for a while, and I finally got around to buying some paint pens. The only problem is that I think it could look a little bit better, so I'm probably going to end up going to those, thin Sharpie pens, whatever they're called. I think those would look a lot better, a lot more clean. I'm not saying this looks terrible, but I think it could be better, so I'm probably going to end up going back and redoing these. The good thing is that I only did Gate 1, and then I have the yellow line for 3 and 5. That's all I've really done, so it's not like I'm going to be losing a whole lot of progress, really. Again, I think it's going to end up looking better when I end up redoing it, so we'll have to see how it goes. Hopefully that's a nice summer project I can work on, but yeah, let's go ahead and continue with the JetBlue ops. Moving over to Gate 3, we have the JetBlue Airways Airbus A320 in the high-rise colors. This aircraft will be heading down to Orlando MCO today. One change for the service is that it has gone from 2 daily down to 1 daily for the month of March, and in April it's going back up to 2 daily with an A220 in there as well. So nice that we're getting the 2 daily back. Hopefully we get the A320 back in here. I just prefer the 320 all around. I think the JetBlue liveries just look a bit better on the 320. I just prefer the plane overall, but A220 is still a really good fit, so maybe I can try to include some of those in the coming airport updates. But yeah, that's all that's new for the MCO service. Let's move on to the American Airlines section. Okay, next up at Gate 5, we have the American Eagle CRJ700, operated by PSA. This aircraft will be heading down to Washington, DCA today. Currently, the 4 daily CRJ700s, nothing new for that service there. So again, consistency is key, and that's exactly what we have for this aircraft, so nice to see that. One thing to note for this service occurring later in the summer is that we'll be seeing some more E175s from Republic. In July, one of these frequencies will be on the E175, and then in August it goes to 3 daily E175s. So it's going to be nice to see some more Embraers in here for these airport updates, again, heading down to DCA. Next up at Gate 6 is the American Eagle ERJ-145 operated by Piedmont. This aircraft will be heading out to Boston today, still the 1 daily ERJ-145, so nothing new to say there, and through the summer, it is the same thing. So it's been a very consistent service, which is good. I would still like to see another frequency in there. This is a midday flight, so it would be nice to see a overnight service come, especially once they get Gate 14 up and running. That'll add another parking spot for an aircraft overnight, and I believe that's going to be a regional gate, so that would be a perfect opportunity for them to add another frequency there. We'll have to see what happens, though. It's just a thought. Next up at Gate 8 is the American Airlines Airbus A321 in the PSA Heritage livery. This aircraft will be heading out to Dallas-Fort Worth today. Dallas is currently on the A320. I don't have an American A320, so I have to just make do with what I have, and I saved the A319 for the Charlotte service because that's a little bit more applicable in that regard. So once again, the A321 heading down to Dallas in for an A320. We have seen a couple one-off A321s on this service since it came back in late February, so that's been nice. This summer, Dallas will be on the 737-800, so nice to see some more Boeing aircraft for American. It's been a while. I can't remember the last time, but it's certainly been quite a while since we had the 737-800 on any of the American Airlines services, so we have that to look forward to this summer. And then you also have that on the Charlotte service coming up, which I will talk about on the next aircraft here. Next up at Gate number 9 is the American Airlines Airbus A319 with fence tips and CFMs. This aircraft will be heading down to Charlotte Douglas today. Currently 3 daily services, all mainline, consisting of 2 A319s and then the A320 for the overnight service. As I was alluding to, we will be seeing some 737-800s this summer on the Charlotte service. So in July, we have the 737-800 coming in on 2 of those services, and then a CRJ-900 as well from PSA. And then August is 2 A320s, an A319, and a CRJ-9, once again from PSA as well. Next up at gate 10, I apologize for the horrible angle on this aircraft. It dawned on me as I was doing the voiceover that when I was back at home taking the photos to be able to do these airport updates back at school, I somehow forgot the Embraer 175, but that's okay. We will move on. So this aircraft will be heading out to Chicago O'Hare today. Currently 2 175s plus a 170 as well. Later on in July, we're going to be seeing 3 Embraer 175s plus a 170. So you're just adding another Embraer 175 on top of what we already have. Those will be split between Envoy and Republic. And then later on in August, we have some really nice news. Just like last summer, we're going to be having an A319 on one of these frequencies. Very excited to have the A319 back on Chicago O'Hare service. I honestly didn't think it would happen, especially given the fact that our passenger numbers have been much lower this year. That is because of Southwest Airlines' departure, but I still would think that there would be a price difference and there would be less demand overall because of the less competitive environment. But it appears that that's not entirely true, which is nice. And then on top of that A319, we're going to have 2 Embraer 170s as well. So again, very excited for the summer. We're going to have a lot of nice frequency increases as well as some nice up gauges as well. So very excited for the summer. Still got to get through the rest of spring, but should be a good couple of months here. Hope you guys are excited for summer. And let's move on to gate 11 with Allegiant. So here at gate 11, we have the Allegiant Air Airbus A319 pushing back for a flight out to Myrtle Beach today. Myrtle Beach is currently flown in conjunction with Nashville. Generally, it's on the A319 2 times per week on Thursday and Sunday. However, today it is on the A320, so I guess it just depends. Maybe some days have a little bit more demand and they're able to facilitate that with a slightly larger aircraft. So nice to see that. These services did come back on March 6th, so a little bit earlier than previous years. I think specifically for Myrtle Beach. I think Myrtle Beach started later in the month of April in previous years, so adding a whole extra month for that service. Definitely a nice thing to see here, and excited to see where Allegiant goes from here. And I will correct myself. I already tried to, saying that specifically Myrtle Beach came back earlier, but Nashville was already here. It didn't come back on March 6th. It was already operating, so that's that. Okay, next up at gate 12, we have the Breeze Airways Airbus A220-300. This aircraft arrived in from Charleston and will be heading out to Las Vegas today. Nothing new for these services. Both of them are Monday, Friday, just like they've always been, aside from when they tried to fly Vegas on a red-eye flight on, I think, a Tuesday, so that was awful. It looks like they learned their lesson, though, so it's been back on the normal Monday, Friday frequency for a while now, which has been good. Consistently better load factors since they made that decision, so very proud of them for that. No new services yet for Breeze Airways. According to Jason Terreri, the Airport Authority Executive Director, we are going to be possibly seeing some new route announcements going into the fall of this year. I have a suspicion that they're going to be Breeze. I could be wrong, but just judging by Breeze's track record here, I think it's most logical that it's going to be them if we do get some new routes. We'll have to wait and see, though. Would like to see, you guys have heard me talk about these before, Los Angeles, anything West Coast, really, more Florida routes. You can never have too many to sun destinations, so we'll have to see. Again, it might not even be Breeze, but once again, we have the Breeze Airways Airbus A220-300 in from Charleston and out to Vegas. Before we move into Concourse B, I'm going to go ahead and quickly snag this Allegiant A319 that just arrived in from St. Pete. St. Petersburg is currently 4 weekly, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Nothing new for that service, just a really nice frequency, 4 weekly. That's really nice to have. Generally on the A319, you will see a few A320s as well. Again, just kind of depends on the demand for a specific day, and they'll throw on whatever they can. So, okay, moving into Concourse B, you can tell there's been quite a bit of work done to this terminal. I have the pieces 3D printed, as I mentioned in the previous airport update, had them done at school, brought them home, and started painting them over spring break. And this is what I have so far. You can tell there's still a few details I have to do in terms of some different, shading, and you can tell the roof on the end is not supposed to be that brown color. It's supposed to be gray. So there's a few things to do, a few minor tweaks, but it's mostly complete. So excited to have this up and running in full-fledged. And then we have the ground markings as well, like I touched on earlier. So it's coming along, guys. Just hang in there. We're close. Hope you guys are looking forward to the final result. It should be really nice. When it comes to the terminal expansions themselves, here in front of you, you can see the bump out at gate 22 and 23. There is a restaurant inside of here, which is Einstein's Bagels, which is going to be opening in April. I don't know exactly when, but in the month of April. this hold room and restaurant will be open. And then over at gate 27, you can see this is going to be opening, I think, somewhere around that time frame as well, maybe a little bit later. But these two expansions should definitely be ready in time for summer. If not, then something's gone seriously wrong, which is not what it sounds like from the airport authorities. So very excited to have these up and running. 27, you can see, doesn't have an aircraft at it because, again, it's not done. It's not open yet. But in the summer, I'm excited to see who's going to end up taking this gate. It's going to be really exciting to have finally an aircraft using gate 27. It's just going to make Concourse B look a lot more full, which is really nice. So getting into our actual aircraft now, we're going to start at gate 26, where we have the United Airlines Boeing 737-900 in the Evo blue colors. This aircraft is currently filling in for the 737-800 for a service out to Denver, Colorado. Still pretty consistent for Denver as of now. I did touch on this previously, but this summer we're going to have the 737-800 and 900. Some of the MAXs might come in here on some specific days. But yeah, very excited to see those services continue with some more capacity. I'm eager to see how they end up doing. I'm sure they're going to be great, but always just seeing their performance at the end of the day is very exciting to me. So next up at gate 25, we have the Delta Airlines Airbus A320. This aircraft will be making that early morning departure out to Detroit. Currently, the Detroit service for the overnight is on the A319. Earlier in the month of March, though, it was on the 320, so I decided just to get a little bit more use out of the larger capacity, might as well just put the A320 in here. But I will note it is currently on the A319 and looks to be that way throughout the summer as well. And then you have the usual CRJ 900s throughout the day on that service as well. Next up at gate 24A, we have the Delta Connection CRJ 900. This aircraft will be heading out to New York LaGuardia, currently 3 daily flights, including 2 CRJ 900s and then a 175 as well. Almost the same thing for this aircraft here at gate 24. We have another Delta Connection CRJ 900. This aircraft will be heading out to New York JFK today, currently 3 daily services, all 3 of which are on the CRJ 900. At gate 23, we have the Delta Airlines Airbus A321 heading out to Atlanta today on that early morning flight. The overnight flight on Atlanta was on the A321 for the first part of March, currently on the A320 now, in addition to the 2 other A320s during the day. So a little bit unfortunate to see that, but as I mentioned before, we do have the A321 coming back for the late spring and summer, and then specifically in the summer months, we're going to be seeing 3 daily A321s on the Atlanta service. Very excited for all of that. Currently just have a little bit of a lull in capacity, but that'll pick back up once the weather starts to get nicer. Okay, moving along at gate 22, we have the United Express CRJ 550 filling in for a CRJ 700 with service down to Newark today. Currently 2 daily flights consisting of a CRJ 700 and a Embraer 175 for the overnight service as well. At gate 21, we have the United Airlines Airbus A320 in the Evo blue colors. This aircraft will be heading out to Chicago O'Hare on that early morning departure. Chicago O'Hare currently 3 daily flights consisting of an A320, as you can see in front of you, as well as a CRJ 700 in the morning, and then an Embraer 175 kind of in the evening rush hour. Our final commercial aircraft for today's Syracuse Hancock International Airport update is this Frontier Airlines Airbus A321 in the Powder the Polar Bear livery, resting at gate 20. This aircraft will be heading out to Orlando today, currently the only destination we have for Frontier at the current time, so a little bit unfortunate for that, but it's been going nice and consistently. Load factor is always doing really well on this service, and we should be getting some of the other services back as we move into the summer. I'm also just now realizing how terribly blurry this photo is. I was a little bit too far away, it looks like, so I apologize for that. But let's move on to the final aircraft for today's March 2025 Syracuse Hancock International Airport update. That final aircraft today will be the UPS Airbus A300, arriving in on a flight from Windsor Locks, Connecticut. I actually saw this flight arrive recently when I was at the airport plane spotting over spring break. That was a really fun time. If you guys haven't seen that yet, I'll put a card in the video in the upper right-hand corner for you guys to check out. But yeah, this has just been a really cool service to see show up on the flight schedule. As I'm looking at it tonight, it's actually flying on the 767-300. So that's really cool. It looks like there's a little bit of variety for once, but I personally really like the A300, especially in the UPS livery. I think it's a really great looking aircraft, so a lot of fun to be able to feature it in these Syracuse Airport updates, so hopefully it stays around for a while longer. That'd be really cool. So that is the final aircraft for today's March 2025 Syracuse Hancock International Airport update. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Lots of good stuff to go over in this update. Lots to look forward to as well, as I was alluding to throughout the video. And again, You saw the progress on these terminals and the ground as well. It's going to be a great summer ahead, guys. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. It's going to be a little bit of work to get started, but it's definitely going to be worth it. We've seen some great progress thus far. So once again, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider liking the video down below and subscribing to the channel if you are new. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave me a comment below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.